My name is Alice Clark, and I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Bellingham Partnership. And I just want to welcome you, Samantha, and everybody else that's watching. I'm just glad that you're here to learn more about this tax credit program. It's a pretty incredible program, so thanks for making the time.
Yeah.
First, I want to go over a little bit about our organization. Some people know about our organization and some people don't. So I'll do that. And then afterwards, Melissa will talk about the program in more detail. And then after that, we'll be able to take some questions. So we'll just put those in the chat and we'll hold them and look at them at the end of the presentation. And we're also recording it, as you noticed, so we can put it on our website and share it in different ways. So lastly, I just want to thank Jenny, our marketing communications manager. She's working behind the scenes. She's going to let people in as they pop in and help with some other stuff on the back end. So, our big mission is to champion the health and vitality of downtown through the promotion of commerce, culture, and celebration. And our vision for downtown is that it bursts with creative vitality and authentic charm, and is a thriving, healthy community where people from all walks of life can experience a wealth of opportunities to work, shop, learn, and play. The next slide. Where are we on the slide?
Are you seeing our work slide, Alice?
Something just happened to my screen. Hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, I see it. So the partnerships work. We've been around since 2000 as an organization, and a lot of folks know us by our events. We have some award-winning events like Downtown Sounds that happens every summer. We have 2 wine walks a year. We also have the long-running art walk, which is also called First Fridays now. That's been going since the 80s. We also do Halloween event downtown, trick-or-treating, and a bunch of holiday events, and there's a lot more, but those are kind of the big things. We do a lot to promote the district and its businesses, and we do this through, we have the social media channels, newsletters, our websites, and sometimes we use other mediums. We're also very big into economic development for downtown, and so we do this with creating a safe and welcoming downtown, curating the retail, food and beverage and services mix downtown. So we have a retail advocate, so we're actually consciously trying to put together the pieces that make sense. We're advocating for residential density downtown so we can have more people living downtown and shopping. And we do outreach to businesses offering safety and health resources, especially during the pandemic. And we also offer them funding opportunities and just general support. We also do a lot of placemaking. So anything we can do to enhance what we call the public realm. And we do this by activating alleys with art and lights. Sometimes you can see the lights in some alleys, like the Commercial Street alley. We do the landscaping and cleaning downtown. We also add interest. Sometimes we'll do some outdoor seating. We do the hanging baskets that you see downtown. And we partner with the city, tourism, and others on bigger projects like wayfinding or, just helping them explore the uses for potential public plazas. And we're also creating some walking tours for downtown. So there's a lot of murals downtown so that people can come and check those out. There's a lot more. Those are kind of the big buckets. So downtown Bellingham is one of 37 communities in the Washington State Main Street program. And this program's been helping downtown and cities revitalize their economy, enhance their appearance and images of their downtown districts, and since 1984. So, and we have been a Main Street community since 2014. The program is under the Washington Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, and the program is managed by the Washington Trust for Historical Preservation. So as a Main Street affiliate, the partnership is actually also part of the national Main Street organization called Main Street America. And that started in the 80s, and it was really in response to the advent of the malls. And so that organization is still going, and with its emphasis on revitalizing older and historic commercial districts. And so now the network is like 1,200 communities, rural and urban, who share both a commitment to place and to building stronger communities through preservation-based economic development. So they're very into retaining historical buildings and that character that they bring to the downtown districts. So since at the beginning of 2020, we actually thought, well, this is just going to be a normal year, and we're getting geared up to do all of our events and other things. And then the pandemic happened. So we just quickly were like, okay, we have new job titles. And we started just mobilizing to help the downtown district as much as we could. Sorry. So our Green Cone program, next slide. We worked in collaboration with the city of Bellingham to supply large Be Strong green cones to the business area downtown, so that businesses could use them to indicate that they were open, or they were able to do curbside delivery, whatever use was available to them that made sense. And that program continues today. So you might still see the cones out there, and because it's really fluid right now, they probably may use them for a bit longer. Another thing that we helped out with in the last couple of years is we worked with businesses to help them navigate how to incorporate outdoor seating into sidewalks, parking spaces, and even some full lane closures like you see on Holly Street. And so since phase 2 of the governor's Safe Start program limited seating capacity for restaurants, these expansions were really the only way that some of them could bring in the income they needed to survive. And so we just played a critical role in navigating the permit process, organizing blocks to tackle different problems and challenges, and providing some on-site logistics as well. We also created our Be Kind, our Be Strong program, our campaign. And so we created posters, we hung a banner over Holly Street, and we just made this campaign available to everyone if they wanted to put it on their windows. We had t-shirts and other things. And so we just felt like, as the primary champion of the district, it was really important for us to have a sense of solidarity and really help people stick together in the tough time that we were going through. So another thing we did is the storefront improvement grant. We've been doing this for a couple of years, and we just decided, let's just keep doing it and maybe add a little bit more money to it. So this grant is for businesses to do improvements on their exteriors. So they might want to do new signage, they might want to paint, add planters just to make it more appealing. And so we continue to do this program, and we found it was more necessary than ever because a lot of people just didn't have the money to do those kind of improvements during the pandemic. Another thing we did last year was we did a summer activation grant. We got some funding from the Community Foundation and BQ Credit Union that gave micro grants to businesses to activate outside their storefronts. So that went from July to September, and some of the things where we had an outdoor disco in the plaza, people did dance demonstrations, different kinds of performances. And it was just a way to draw attention to their business and in a social distancing way. So we've been doing a lot of business support, and we're looking towards the year ahead. And there's a couple different things we are really excited about. One is because of the concerns about health and safety downtown, we're working with the city, and the city has approved of using some American Rescue Plan dollars to do a program with the partnership And we will be contracting with Street Plus, and they do social outreach, they do landscaping, they do cleaning, but we'll be using them for their safety ambassador program. And so they do a lot of outreach with the homeless and just help them get connected to different resources, and they're just more eyes on the street. So they will be downtown probably starting in April, and they'll be there 7 days a week and probably like 8 to 5. And then another program we're working on is really to help unite downtown in general, but also different areas of downtown because it's pretty spread out. And so we want to create a program where there's a couple leaders of each area who will be the conduit of information going back and forth so we can understand what they need in their particular area, and we can give them information that they need to know. And then in addition, they can work together to let's clean our alley, or let's, get the sidewalks clean with the machine and get them all spruced up. So they can, it's kind of like a neighborhood block program in a way, but it's just more involved than that. And then another thing we're working on is a graffiti program. So there's been a lot of graffiti popping up. And so what we want to do is create a program where we can, it's a combination of educating people that own businesses about their responsibilities. Also, we've learned it's super important to remove graffiti as soon as you can. So we're looking at ways that we can maybe integrate in the program that we will assist them in doing that paintings, just so we can get it, as they call, buffed off as soon as possible. And then also, how do we hold the people that are doing the tagging accountable? So there's different components to that program. And then lastly, live events. We hope to bring back, like I said, Downtown Sounds will start July 6th and we'll run for 5 Wednesdays. And then the wine walks will be announced soon. So we're just kind of going into the summer, like let's anticipate that we'll be able to do our events as normal. And then we'll just keep doing more business support. Businesses are still struggling. A lot of the initial funding, a lot of them are still holding on to it, but some of them need additional help to make it through this hump. So we're going to keep helping them as much as we can. And we really feel like these programs that I just mentioned will really help a lot. So anyway, there's a lot more that we do. That's kind of the nutshell version. And so right now I'm just going to move it on to Melissa, who can kind of start talking more about the nuts and bolts of the program. So thank you.
Thank you, Alice. As mentioned before, I'm Melissa, the DVP Operations Manager, and I'll be going over the program and how to participate, some more of the technical side to how this works. Next slide. The Main Street Tax Credit Program provides a business and occupation or public utility tax credit for contributions given to eligible Washington Main Street communities for downtown revitalization, which is some of the things Alice has touched on already. Next. Designated Washington Main Street communities are eligible to receive contributions through the state tax credit program. Downtown Bellingham is your eligible community. Additionally, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so your contribution may be eligible for a federal income tax deduction as a charitable contribution. It is important to note that you should consult with your CPA or bookkeeper to determine your participation level for this. Next. So participating in this program allows you to direct your state B&O or PUT taxes straight back into our community. This is a rare opportunity. It's not very often you get to choose where your taxes go, so that's kind of exciting and fun. And once your contribution request for credit is approved by the Washington Department of Revenue, then your business is eligible for tax credit worth 75% of that contribution to the Downtown Bellingham Partnership. I'll go into more details on the application process shortly. But first, just next slide. So here's kind of a visual description of the process I kind of just spit out at you. Essentially, for example, if you wanted to donate $1,000 to the DBP, you'd have to get that in by November 10th, 2022. And in return, you would receive a $750 tax credit in your DOR account by January 1st, 2023. However, our community would benefit now from the funds you've chosen to keep in your city center. Next. So how do you actually get the tax credit? Here, we're just going to go over more of the steps and requirements in order to participate. So this is the exciting part. So how do you get the credit? First, businesses must be registered to file their state excise tax electronically. That means if for some reason you're still filing your DOR taxes via paper, you will have to make an account for this. A contribution request must be submitted online at dor.wa.gov starting at 8 a.m. on January 10th, which means that yes, applications are open now and you can apply at any time. Once your application has been accepted, you must make your contribution directly to the Downtown Volume Partnership in full by November 10th. Businesses must take the tax credit the year after the contribution is made. The tax credit can't be carried forward and there won't be a refund beyond the tax liability of the business. So again, this part is definitely why it's important to work with either a CPA or bookkeeper to determine your level of participation. And lastly, a business may apply for up to $250,000 in credits each year. However, if you want to apply or if you want to participate at such a high level, we do ask that you contact us first. Next. So there's two methods for applying. The first method is you can apply yourself through the DOR. This is ideal for companies who use third-party bookkeepers or have large accounting departments or just very, very comfortable with the DOR website itself. The secondary option is that the DVP can actually submit your application for you. This happens through user-granted access in the DOR. This is best for small business owners who might need or want additional support through the process or just don't want to think about it, just want to tell us. Both methods work exactly the same, and we have step-by-step guides for either one. So here, the application itself is pretty simple. I've kind of just screenshot a few items just so you have an idea of what you're up against. The first page you'll see is a very simple, you just choose the Downtown Bellingham Partnership, you pop in the amount that you want to contribute, and it also tells you how much of a credit that you'll be getting for that. That final number in that last column there is actually the amount of contributions or amount of credits left for the community in question. On the second page, all you have to do is, sorry, go back to the slide. This second page, you'll confirm your contribution amount, enter your name, business name, phone, email, and submit. After that, the DOR just sends us your business name and your contribution amount. And all you have to do is have that completed by November 10th. So it really is probably one of the simpler applications that you'll have to deal with. Next. All right, so next we're going to go over in more detail how this program will benefit your business and a quick example just so you can kind of see a quick run through. On this slide, you'll see a few of the most common B&O tax rates. I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with these. Your retail B&O tax rates 0.471%, services B&O is 1.5%, wholesale manufacturing is 0.484%. Next. So that translates to this example, and we're going to use the services B&O tax rate of 1.5%. So if a business earns $100,000 in taxable income, that means that they'll have a $1,500 B&O tax liability. However, a business could choose to participate in Main Street and donate $2,000 to the DVP in 2022, which would in turn wipe out their B&O tax liability with a credit in 2023, assuming they make the same amount of money, while also allowing them to potentially decrease their taxable income with a charitable contribution deduction for 2022. For businesses who continue their participation past year one, will be able to use their charitable contribution deduction while also using the credit from the year before. So your benefits do start to stack after year one. Again, we recommend working with your CPA. Next slide. All right. Here's some important Main Street dates and timelines, which we need to address. However, I want to point out, before I point out the first two, I need to note a rather confusing point. This program has a $5 million tax credit cap set by the state, and with 37 communities, that's roughly $135,000 in tax credits per community. However, some small communities are unable to find enough donors to meet that cap. So after March 31st, any leftover funds are put into a pot for larger communities to compete for. It's a first come, first served process up to a new cap of $180,000 in credit. These funds have been known to disappear within minutes, even though this program expanded last year. We have no idea how quick these funds will go or how competitive it's going to be. So to ensure your contribution, we do recommend getting your application in as soon as possible to avoid the more competitive second round. So with that note, you'll see that, yes, on January 10th, the application is already open. Anyone can apply at any time at this point. And we are guaranteed those funds through March 31st. April 1st is when that competitive second round of applications will open. And past that, any participating businesses then have until November 10th to fulfill their pledge. The DBP finalizes a report to the Washington Main Street NDOR by November 15th, and your credits become available on January 1, 2023. These are the most important dates to have in mind while planning your participation.
Thank you, Melissa. What I wanted to mention is that I believe our donors really appreciate that are participating in this program and have been participating in it for several years, really appreciate that it's kind of redirect what they're going to pay in taxes to stay in our community, which is really important. So it is, supporting the downtown. Supporting downtown is really supporting the whole entire community. It allows citizens to have someplace to hang out. We kind of call it downtown as the community's living room. And it also creates a pretty good tax base for the city for all kinds of projects and, other kinds of support with hospitals and EMTs and all kinds of infrastructure. So it's just a way to just keep that money here working for us. So anyway, Samantha, do you have any questions about the program?
I don't think so.
Okay. Pretty clear?
I think so.
Okay.
Is
Cool.
the application on your website or do I get a hold of it?
So this is kind of the interesting part is we would appreciate you letting us know that you want to participate ahead of time so I can send you a pledge form if you're interested, but the application is actually fully on the DOR website. So we don't have the application itself. Businesses technically have the opportunity to just do it, not tell us anything. I'll just get a report and then just send that invoice once I've got it. But I do like having that contact information so I know who to send that receipt letter to and all that kind of stuff. So if it's something that you're really interested in, on this last page here is my email. I would ask that you just shoot me a quick email to let me know that you're interested. I'll send that pledge form over and you can apply it anytime if you want. But again, if you want us to apply for you, there's just one additional little form that I need to have filled out as well. So that's just
Okay.
that's just the process.
I'm the bookkeeper, so I'll talk to the owners and.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, that makes it even easier. You're really comfortable with the DOR.
I have been on the DOR website a lot.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank you.
I apologize,
ahead, Jenny.
Melissa, but I think the one thing, I don't know, I feel like there was a slide where we talked about the ability to double down on the cascading effects after 2 years that I think is worth this sound bite. I don't know if I went too fast, but.
I did mention it. It's just
Okay.
because what she's referencing is just that in the first year, you have to make your donation while you continue paying your B&O taxes. In year 2, you'll be able to claim the tax credit while at the same time still getting that charitable deduction. So it happens the first year, it doesn't happen the second year it does. So the longer you do it, the more benefits that you get. And then should you ever decide to stop the final year after your last donation, you'll still get your tax credit.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you for repeating that. And then I'll go back to the contact page. There were a few folks that joined midstream that I'll just open up to any questions. You can either chat or we'll open it up. You can unmute yourself. It's a relatively small group. Otherwise, thank you, Melissa and Alice, for doing a good job covering
Yeah,
all.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Take
it
notes.
looks as though we did our jobs. I appreciate everyone joining in, and we committed to a 30-minute time schedule because we know everyone's busy. So I appreciate everyone joining, and we will send this recording in the event that you need to forward to owners or bookkeepers or decision makers managing the money at your respective businesses. Anyway, have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.